In this video, I'm going to show you how to make network HTTP requests in Flutter using Retrofit. If you are experienced with Android development, you should be familiar with Retrofit. Retrofit is a popular library in the Android development ecosystem created by Square, which simplifies the process of making network requests. It's typically used with Java or Kotlin to define REST API endpoints and perform HTTP operations. Today, Flutter library is integrated with Retrofit too. Before we start, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So, in order to use Retrofit, you have to add these packages into your Flutter project. There are a total of 6 packages. Retrofit, JSON annotations, and dio package add under dependencies, while Retrofit generator, build runners, and JSON serializable add under dev dependencies. Once you're done adding these packages without conflict, we can now start coding. So here I have a sample API created by TP Code Server. This API returns 3 key value pairs, which are user ID, and title. This is just a sample API response. Firstly, we have to create a model class to map the key value pairs into class variable. So here I will be creating a class called album, and in the album class, it should consist of 3 variables that matches the API response. Important note here, make sure the name of the variable same as the key name in the API response. This is very important as any mismatch on the character will fail to map the response and causes the response to return null. Then I will be creating a constructor for the album class, and this constructor will take all the variables as parameter. After creating constructor, we have to create the mapping method. Here we have to use factory as we need to map and create a new map object. This method will take a raw JSON and return a new album object with mapped JSON value. As of now, we have completed our model class. Next, we have to integrate Retrofit into the code. Firstly, I will create a file called API service.dart. This file handles all the network HTTP configuration. Then I will be creating a class called APIs that store the HTTP endpoints. Next, we have to configure base URL using alias REST API. Under this base URL configuration is where we set up our API client. Before we continue, don't forget to import Retrofit and dio packages. Here we will be using factory keyword as well, which will return a new API client object every time it's instantiated. Once this is done, we can now set up our network request. In the API that I've prepared, it is a GET request, so we will create with alias GET method and pass in the endpoints, which is apis.album that we have created above. Below the GET method, we have to specify the return type and request method name. In this API, it will return an album object, and I will set it as getAlbum method. Lastly, we have to add part followed by file name but added .g before .dart. This is for build runner to generate file for us. So the benefits of build runner is that it will generate the factory code for us instead of us coding it manually. This will save lots of time and reduce typo error. In order for build runner to generate file, we have to execute a command in the terminal. The command is flutter pub run build runner build. So how does Flutter build runner knows which file to generate? That's why we added the part keyword with .g file extension, so build runner knows this file needs to be generated. Once it's succeeded, you can see that a new file is created in your current directory. And inside this code file, it's stated that it's generated code. Do not modify by hand. This file consists of all the boilerplate code for the factory to work. As of now, we have completed our API client. Next, we have to create a function to call the API request. So now I will create a fetch album function that returns a future album. This is because HTTP network request in Flutter is an asynchronous function. Make sure you add a sync to the function. In order to call HTTP request, firstly we have to create an instance of the API client. This API client takes a DIO function and you can configure the DIO base option. The API that I have prepared is JSON, so in the base option I will set the content type to application/JSON. Now we can use this API client object to make HTTP requests. Since we have initialized our HTTP method in the API service file, in our main code, we just have to call client.getAlbum method to execute the API that I have set up. In this API call, I have added a try and catch. If there is any error, this method should throw an error exception. As of now, we have completed our API function. So in the elevated button on press function, here is where we execute the API function. Because this function returns a future object, we have to use .then method to retrieve the return object. With the return object, we can now easily access to the object variables just like value.id, value.title, and value.userid. For tutorial purposes, I will just add a print function to each values. Now let's try it out in the simulator. So as you can see, it printed out the API response value in the terminal. And we can validate by checking back to the API key value JSON. With this return object value, you can use either setState method or any reactive state manager to rebuild the UI and display the API response in the screen. Another great benefit of using Retrofit is that it simplifies the process of making HTTP requests. For example, if you would now add a new API, you can easily do it by adding a new endpoint string and add a new API method without touching your main code. Conclusion, this is how you make HTTP requests in Flutter using Retrofit. If you have any question, feel free to comment below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.